The following program is a public service of Gulf Coast State College, WKGC, and Commodore Productions. And now, the Military Hour with Cary Deeter.
Welcome to another edition of Military Hour. My good friend and brother, Matt Standish, is here. Welcome back. I know you got a lot to share with us.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're always busy and staying occupied and having a lot of fun.
Yeah, always have a good time with you. And it's, you know how it is with brothers, you just connect. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, we've had a good time already this morning. Of course, Matt and my significant other have been giving me a little bit of a hard time, but that's okay. It's all good because it's all in good-natured fun. But share with us the latest that's going on with the Vet Center and your travels.
Okay.
And all you got going.
Well, of course, you know the Vet Center, we are a federal VA office. But we have the really wonderful privilege of being totally disconnected from everything else in the VA. And primarily our service is to provide, we call it readjustment counseling services for veterans, National Guard troops, reservists, as well as even active duty personnel, including anybody that the veteran or the troop identifies as a family member. I don't know if I told you that last time. That's relatively new.
That is new.
Because, see, it is, well, to be eligible, the veteran or the troop has to have served in a combat zone somewhere, been a victim of military sexual trauma while they're on active duty, or if they had anything to do with the movement or processing of combat casualties, then all they have to do is go to a vet center, any vet center in the country, and there's about 300 of them all over the United States, where they can literally walk in the front door, see a licensed professional counselor who is probably a veteran themselves, and most importantly, nobody will ever know about it. So our primary focus is post-traumatic stress.
Right.
For whatever the trauma is, whether it was trauma from combat, trauma from sexual assault or harassment, anything like that. But the big reason that we see families, and we don't care what the family member is, that veteran or troop, basically if they say, this is my family member, they can come in. Well, that means parents, children, brothers and sisters, spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends. And you know, it's because post-traumatic stress doesn't care what the relationship.
Right.
If it's husband-wife, husband-husband, wife-wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the relationship, post-traumatic stress doesn't care about that. It's going to try to screw it up. PTSD is just horrible on relationships.
Yeah, I can attest to that as well. But the thing that strikes me, and I think is more beneficial to a lot of veterans, is the complete anonymity.
Right.
That it's all confidential.
Super.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe I've either heard from someone on your staff or just in the general community, because you know I'm kind of involved a little bit with veteran stuff. But don't most of your people out there have their master's degree and such in counseling? Yeah,
well, vet centers across the country are going to see a wide variety of counselors. Minimum to be a counselor at a vet center is a licensed clinical social worker with a master's degree.
With a master's.
And they can be licensed, because they're working for the federal government, they can be licensed pretty much in any state. Now, some vet centers have psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, all different ranges, but like I said, the minimum is the licensed clinical social worker with the master's degree. Now, it's not a requirement that they be a veteran, but across the country, we're about 75% veterans ourselves.
Well, that in itself is a good testament because, and again, I don't have the hard fact in front of me, but I believe VA itself, and I'm the whole VA, not just the medical part, but even the bureaucracy, is about 25% veteran. Right. If I remember correctly,
I don't know for sure either.
Yeah, I don't have the hard number in front of me, but I think it's either right there or hovering at 25%. And to me, I'm wondering, do they really get it if they're not a veteran?
Right.
You know?
Well, and then the biggest thing about the vet centers, see, the very first vet center was actually created in 1979. It was out in Van Nuys, California, and it was started by 2 Vietnam veterans. Basically, they were there to provide readjustment counseling services to other Vietnam veterans to deal with their post-traumatic stress issues. Well, it was Senator Max Cleland from Georgia, who's a Vietnam vet himself. He saw what these guys were doing, took it to the VA, got the VA to run with it, to the point, like I said, today we have 300 vet centers all across the country. But the point is, there's such a bad stigma in the military about getting counseling.
Of course. Yeah.
And whether it's valid or not, you just end up with all these thousands and thousands of troops and veterans out there who've seen and experienced horrible, horrible things, but because of that stigma, won't talk to anybody.
Not uncommon.
Right. So the vet centers were created to give these troops and veterans a place to go, talk to a real counselor who is also a veteran themselves, and not have to worry about anybody ever finding out about it. See, nobody has access to our records except for us. Our veterans that come see us don't have to be in the VA system at all.
Because it's not reported back or recorded into the VA system.
Right.
That is the one thing about anonymity that I think is beneficial for the veteran.
Cool thing though, veterans who are in the VA system, because like we do have a lot of veterans that go to the VA clinic, especially the mental health clinic, where they'll see their psychiatrist. If they have medications, they can maintain their medications. But, you know, they may only get seen once a month, once every 2 months, whatever. In between times, they come to us. Because we'll see them as often as they want. We'll see them every week. Sometimes we'll see them every other day, just depending on how they're doing.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. We're open. We're open 7 in the morning till 7 at night, 5 days a week. And then the first Saturday of every month we're open as well. But see, our whole purpose is to make that environment, that casual, low-threat environment, staffed by veterans, where those troops and veterans can come in, see us, and not have to worry about anything. The only thing we don't do is we don't do any medications.
Right.
And that's because that leaves a paper trail.
Sure.
Now, if the veteran has a claim, you know, for post-traumatic stress or anything, and they want, you know, documentation to support it, all they do is do a release of information, and then we can share our records with their VA counterpart in the medical system, so they can support a claim or anything like that.
Now, again, and in relation, the mental health facility is just, what, maybe a block or so away from your facility on Minnesota?
No.
Close proximity? No.
No, the VA mental health clinic is actually on the beach.
Oh, that's right, it's on the beach.
At R. Jackson Boulevard.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and now we're located at 3109 Minnesota Avenue, right behind Haney Technical Center.
Okay,
That's
so
where our
I
office
had
is.
my topography wrong in my head there.
That's okay.
And I'm not sure, but I believe at the R. Jackson facility, that is a VA mental health facility.
That is a VA mental health clinic.
I don't think they have a psychiatrist there. I think they have a psychologist.
I think they're working on that.
Yeah. I know they are trying to fill that slot, but I'm clarifying it in my own mind to try and keep it sorted out.
Even vet centers that have, you know, a psychiatrist, you know, who could prescribe medications, they're still not allowed to through the vet center.
Right.
Yeah, we're fully funded. There's no cost for our services. It's all paid for, but zero medications. Very, very, in fact, the only way anybody would ever know, like if you came to see us, the only way anybody would really ever find out about it is if you walked in our front door and you're actively homicidal or suicidal.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah, well, we have to call 911.
Sure. Yeah.
We don't have any choice there.
That's a given.
Yeah, we're not chaplains. We're close, but we're not quite.
Yeah.
But
I get it.
The thing, you'll hear it come out of my mouth over and over again, is we love what we do. I mean, we're giving back. We're taking care of our brothers and sisters.
Yep.
Hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but one of my counselors now used to be one of our clients.
Well, there you go.
Got his degree, and now he's given back as a counselor.
That's good.
Yeah, it's
We've had that giving back conversation too, in Veterans Helping Veterans. You get more than you ever give.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And me, I have more fun than anybody should be allowed to have.
Well, yeah, and your mode of transportation occasionally is pretty nice as well. So,
I like my Harley.
Yeah.
I have a good time with that.
Yep. Some people have called me the general, but I've been deposed. Matt now has the general, which is his motorcycle. So yeah. Anyway, I've been busted back to private, so it's okay. It's all good. All good.
No worries. No worries.
Not at all. What else do you have on the horizon? Because I know your calendar stays full.
Yep.
You make that trip every week into Alabama, and you get good response there, I believe. Anything else you got going on?
Well, our vet center, you see, every vet center has a catchment area, which is kind of their area of responsibility.
Right.
Our vet center covers 11 counties, We have 6 in Florida, 5 in Alabama. So Bay, Gulf, Washington, Calhoun, Holmes, and Jackson counties. Then up in Alabama, I've got Geneva, Coffee, Dale, Henry, and Houston counties. Now, so we have counselors that will travel out to do groups and see individual clients. One of our big goals right now is we want to set up what we call an outstation up in the Wiregrass area and actually hire people, veterans who are licensed to provide counseling who live in that area to have an office open, 4 or 5 days a week. We're trying to get to that point.
That would be good because you're more outlying areas then, and veterans can be helped.
In fact, I was just checking the numbers today. They have almost as many veterans and troops in those 5 Alabama counties as we do down here.
I would have never thought
almost
that.
as many. Huh. So we are working on pushing that and set up a mini vet center up in the Wiregrass area.
Well, I hope it comes to fruition.
It will,
because obviously it's necessary.
Yeah.
Well, if you're driving that bus and cracking that whip, you'll probably help push that through and get it done. So
now my job, I'm a retired Air Force First Sergeant. I work for the VA. Been doing it for about 4.5 years now. Have way more fun than I should be allowed because if anybody ever asks, First Sergeants are only good at 2 things. Okay, motivating troops. A lot of times with a steel-toed boot to their backside. That's just nature of the job. And all First Sergeants love to talk. My job for the VA, they call me a Veterans Outreach Program Specialist. My job literally is to run around 11 counties and do nothing but talk. I have way more fun than I should be allowed. Every event that I can find that I can set up at, I do tables at different events and fairs. There's a job fair, kind of a career fair coming on at the FSU campus next week or the week after, on the 12th, I think it is. I'll be set up. I'm going to have a table set up there. Tomorrow night, I'll be down at Harley-Davidson here on the beach for their bike night. This weekend,
General?
Yes, the General's going to be there.
General's going to be there.
I have to set up, then go get the General and put it in front of my tent.
You have to go out and see the General and hear the story. Fabulous story.
Then Saturday and Sunday, I'll be up in Chipley at the Washington County Heritage Festival that's going to be at Falling Water State Park. We got Thunder Beach coming up in May where I'll be set up out there. The air show out at Tyndall, I'm going to have my tent set up out there. Got the Warrior Beach Retreat getting ready to come up. I'll be involved a lot with that. Talking to the Wounded Warriors about the Vet Center, about what other VA services I can bring up to them or help them point them in the right direction at least. And just to hang out with them and talk, but I'll be all over that. Like you said, I go to Daleville, Alabama every week to talk at the VA vocational rehab office up there. I'm always looking for new places too. So I love giving speeches. I've spoken to Rotary clubs, Kiwanis clubs, VFWs, AMVETs. Spoken here at the college to a few different groups. Anytime I can find a group of people that want to hear what I have to say and are willing to listen, I'm do my best to be there.
You heard it. There you go. Match your man. If you want to have a speaker come out and talk about veterans issues and what's available, just give him a jingle. What's that phone number? I think you got it right there.
My number is, our office is 850-522-6102. And my office manager, somebody will answer. Just leave a message for me because I'm hardly ever in the office. I'm always out on the road somewhere doing something. But the hardest part is squeezing it onto my calendar. A couple weeks ago, I spoke to the Optimist Club of Panama City Beach. Man, I love it. I mean, I just have fun.
Yeah, your calendar is pretty loaded, and that's
pretty
good.
full.
Yeah, better to burn out than rust out. But now,
well, it's a great message.
I've got a request.
Okay.
Give the phone number one more time, but do it slowly.
All right. Got it.
Somebody might want to write it down.
Okay. 850-522-6102.
That was a first. You heard a private tell a first shirt what to do. So
that is rare.
Yeah, I'll get the boot later.
That's right. I'll take care of that.
But anyway, I just think it's really fabulous what you do and the way this has all come together, because the vet centers even though it was started in '79, like you said, California by some Vietnam vets, it's now nationwide.
Yep. 300 vet centers all across the United States, including Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa, and Guam each have vet centers as well. But our number's capped at 300, and that's capped by Congress. And hopefully, we actually have a new director of readjustment counseling services, who is a Desert Storm and Global War and Terrorism veteran, who basically worked just about every position in a vet center, and is really big on outreach. Hopefully, we can get that number raised, add more vet centers to some of these areas that could use them that are a little remotely located.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
So the more we can get, we are, and I'm not talking down about the VA, but we are one of the most positive things happening in the VA.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've said many times, the care that I've received medically from the VA, terrific.
Right.
The other side of that coin, the bureaucracy, I don't even, no comment.
Right.
I just don't have a comment.
Right. And I can't comment. So.
I understand, and rightly so. I get that. So, but treated like royalty medically, no problem.
Right.
So.
But yeah, the big favor I need from anybody is, especially if you know anybody that needs our help or could use our help, don't worry about whether or not they're eligible. Let us worry about that. Tell them about us. Let them know that there's a safe place that they can go where they don't have to worry about anything, and just get them in there. We'll do what we can to try to make them eligible. And if we can't, we'll see them for a while anyway. And then if we can't, we'll try to point them in the direction to continue the care that they need. And if they just plain need something that we can't do, we know where the other resources are.
Sure.
We'll always point them in the right direction.
Yeah. Well, and there again, having that heart of a servant and to help, brothers and sisters, veterans, which in itself, if you're helping a veteran, you're really helping your community.
Yep, absolutely.
In more ways than one. Whether it's then they're now able to function better as a citizen or as an employee or even as an outreach counselor who moves up through the ranks.
Absolutely.
And continues to give back. So, it's like win, 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 win. Is it without problems? Well, of course not.
Yeah, there's always
but
something.
The biggest thing for me is the anonymity.
Yeah.
It's, that just is like allowing a veteran who's having some problems, that big exhale.
Yes.
Like, whew, okay,
Well,
now I can open up and talk.
Yeah, I think overall our two biggest features is one, that confidentiality, privacy, anonymity. The other one, to me, is the families, bringing the family members in. Every vet center in the country has at least one licensed marriage and family therapist.
Didn't know that.
Yep, absolutely. We can do some like substance abuse counseling to a degree. When it reaches a certain point, we might have to try to get them to another place.
Yeah.
But we can help with all of that. We do individual counseling. We do groups. We do also bereavement counseling for families whose military member passed away on active duty for any reason. Could be combat, natural causes, whatever. They can come to the vet center as well. And then probably about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, we got authorized to do grief counseling for the widows and widowers of veterans that pass away. Hopefully Lash won't need that anytime soon.
Well, I keep telling her my warranty's running out. That's why I want to go. Let's go travel. But I was not aware of that either. And that's what a great benefit and service.
Yeah, we love what we do. I mean, again, I'll say it. We just have a ball. Just given that opportunity to sit down and help out our brothers and sisters is huge.
Well, that's where it's at.
Of course, every day for me is Veterans Day. So that's all I do is meet troops and veterans.
Funny how that's like that with a lot of veterans, but that's just the way it is. It's what we love, and especially when you can keep all that camaraderie going. It's because when you get out, I can't speak for you, but a lot of people that I've talked to, you get out and you're like looking around going, okay, now what? Because you're used to everything being so structured.
Right.
And you have the mission, and you're mission focused, and then all of a sudden it's not there, and you're like, oh, what am I going to do? you're really saying, who am I now?
Right.
And without direction, it can be very problematic. And a lot of people have gone through a lot, some short periods of time afterwards,
Right.
some longer periods of time afterwards, until they either got help that now is more readily available than it was, say, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever. And it all works together for good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, not just to me, but
Well, and again, the big thing I can encourage people on is help us spread the word. Let people know that we're there. We're not allowed to advertise. It's all word of mouth. So
Right.
anytime I can come see you, getting on TV, getting out in the news, radio, everywhere, the better chance we have of finding that person that really needs our help.
well, this door, as long as I'm here, and the college is so military friendly.
Yes.
And I'm always thanking them for that, but it's just a fact. They are. You're always welcome here.
Cool.
Anytime. If you got something special that comes up, just call me. Hey, Deeter, I know you do Thursdays, but can we do Tuesday? Well, I'll talk to the powers that be and see. And they've just been so gracious
Right.
when something like that comes up. And we all know how busy Linda Cope is with Warrior Beach Retreat, which is coming up pretty rapidly again. And you're going to be involved.
Be involved with
also.
that. Yep.
So thank you for that.
That's kind of half work, half personal there.
Sure, I get it.
I take half that week off and hang out with the Wounded Warriors, and then talk to them about the vet center as well.
Good deal. Yeah, we've had occasion to bring some Wounded Warriors out, and they give their testimony about what it means. And
It's funny how
good.
many of them move to Panama City.
No, that's the best part.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, and the marriages that have been saved, and it's just what a great testament to what's going on, and tireless. I mean, I'm not trying to give too many kudos to too many people, but there's so many tireless veteran supporters in this community that are always out doing. I mean, you are. Linda Cope is. I mean, the list is long, long, long.
There's a lot more out there than most people know.
Sure. Yeah.
A lot of help for our veterans.
Exactly. And that's where we get our, I don't want to use the word pleasure. I guess it's a satisfaction of like, hey, I'm trying to do something, and if it helps one, that's what matters.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be 10,000. You hear what I just did?
Oops.
Cardinal sin. Let's turn that off. I always turn it off and forgot. Hey, I'm half human anyway, so.
No problem.
Sorry, Matt.
I did turn mine off. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Mr. Producer, I'm sorry for you too, because you'll probably have to edit that out or something, or leave it in.
I'll first
I'm
sergeant
just
him
me.
later. So.
Yeah, first sergeant's going to get me with the boot, so no doubt. And we talked earlier about David Trogdon.
Yes.
Retired chaplain. I don't want to get him wrong. I think he was a light bird, a lieutenant colonel, retired, but he's doing the Hope Project.
Yeah.
And just a wonderful guy.
Yes.
Just
I agree.
Not because he's a chaplain, but he's just that genuine and that warm. And he's got his facility up off Highway 231 now. You know the
Off
exact
of Highway 20, yeah.
Off of Highway 20, and you know the exact address.
Yes.
But he's another one that, for PTSD and other issues, I'm sure, has the horses out there to help address those issues for veterans and their families.
Yes.
So
yeah, I've been out to the ranch and met all the horses, and it is a neat feeling just to.
I don't like you anymore because you went before me. Yeah, no, I do like you. You know that.
I know you do.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to going up there.
That's a great place.
And getting with the horses. So.
Fun program.
Oh yeah.
I think he's going to do some good things around here.
I hope so too. And now he's got a bigger facility than he initially started with, and garnering a lot of support that's needed and necessary, just like every organization needs its support. And I'm just excited about him and his wife and where they're at now, and you know, because he had that on his plate when he was medically retired, you know.
I think he had a traumatic brain injury, PTSD.
Yeah, he's had TBI.
He spent a lot of time in Afghanistan and Iraq, so a lot more than I did. I did 6 months, and I had a great time over there. So.
And that transition, I believe from what little bits I've talked and read with him, that had an impact as well. You know, getting out in the structure, you know, and now you feel like, am I worth anything to anybody anymore? You know, but super guy.
Yes.
Yep. What a brother.
Great
Good
program.
brother. So, anything else you wanted to lay on us this morning?
No, just keep an eye out for my tent. Anybody out there, if you
The
want
new
to come visit
tent?
me, yeah, I have a brand new tent, bright red with a big eagle on top of it. And if you see me out and about in the community, don't be afraid to stop by and pick through the stuff. I keep a lot of information. The brochure is the #1 thing. That's the one that talks about our services. But anybody's welcome to come by. I don't care. Like as far as talking to groups, it doesn't matter to me if it's an all civilian group, all military, all veterans. I do speak a lot out at Tyndall Air Force Base, at Airman Leadership School and their smooth transition seminars.
Oh, yeah.
I do newcomer orientations at Tyndall and Fort Rucker. I'm trying to get out to the Navy base as often as I can. I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
And
you are.
my whole point is the more people I can talk to, the better chance of getting that word out to that trooper, that veteran, or that family that could really use our help.
Yep, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's not about anything else. It's just helping a brother and a sister that needs it, and finally will seek it.
Yep. So yeah, like I said, keep an eye out. It's a bright red tent with this the Eagle and Vet Center logo right on top. Really easy to find.
Is there any way we can pull in on that,
I don't know.
Mr. Producer, or anybody close by?
But
I'm throwing monkey wrenches all over the place today.
come and see me, talk with me. I'd be glad to visit with you.
The Vet Center. There we go.
Phone number, address, and everything.
I'm loving that.
We got it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been said I'm like a little
Awesome. Thank you.
bulldog. I bite on the neck and don't let go, but appreciate that, guys. Everybody here is just stellar. I mean, I can goof up, mess up, and they make it all right. So, good bunch of folks here.
But yeah, other things going on. I'm trying to think of what all the events I have coming up, and that's hard if I don't have my calendar right in front of me. So.
Oh yeah, I get that. Sure.
Yeah, but always, like I said, I'm always looking for new places to go.
Well, we're going to make it a point. I believe I can include my wife in this, like we spoke earlier, that the next time you and the general are en route to Daleville, we're going to ride up with you.
Okay.
We would be honored to join you and have a good day. We'll get some lunch and we'll get to see you in action. I might even take a little video. You never know. So until next time,
all right,
brother, thank you again.
No, my pleasure.
I love you as a brother
Yep.
from the time I met you.
Me too.
And looking forward to spending time with you.
We will.
We're out of here, Mr. Producer.